What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's Off the Air immediately following NXT. It's Tuesday, February, February 18th. I'm stoked to be here. Happy Tuesday night, everybody. It was a fun episode of NXT, and we may be missing Shoddy, but it's his anniversary, so happy anniversary, Shoddy. We do have a good friend out in Louisville, Kentucky. The guy you should what? Driz, what is it again?
Good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe it is your boy Dryzzy, aka the Wrestling Plug. You don't know what to watch. I got you.
Yes, sir. No doubt about that. Bobby Petito already in the comments with what's up, guys. What's up, Bobby? We're stoked to have you. Happy anniversary to Shoddy. Yes.
Let's
Monster
happy
shout out to
anniversary.
Shad. Driz, let's
Gee,
get right into our first segment, don't you
let's
think?
get to it.
How many people can stand opposite Obafemi? I've said it a lot of times on this show.
Not too many. Not too many.
Well, if you look at the TNA roster, we found one, and his name is Moose.
They
He's
call him
arrived.
Moose. Came to
N-
TNA.
Not only did we have the eye to eyes tear down Driz, but then we'll get to later in the show. He's got a match next week, but talk to me about that stare down with Obafemi.
I know I make so much fun of Moose. But I didn't recognize Moose's theme because he's been doing the system thing for so long. It is a genuine surprise to see him in an NXT arena, let alone an NXT ring, standing across from the NXT World Champion. This is a dream match that we have been talking about ever since the first NXT TNA merger, talent exchange. I don't know what we want to call these things, but it is the match. It is the biggest match that we said would be a huge main event thing. And with Moose now as the X Division champion, and they're proclaiming the X Division title being the most prestigious belt in TNA, which I actually don't have an argument with that. You have to admit this has to be a pay per view or PLE, whatever WWE's calling these things nowadays. This has to be a big show main event. These two monsters, the immovable force and the unstoppable object. You have this is this is a live version of WWE coming out for PS2 and Xbox SWV, WTX, whatever they're calling it. But dream, dream match.
It is. It's two absolute behemoths. So
Ath-
whatever
Athletic behemoths. The things that they do, no other man should be able to do.
it's it's gonna be an absolute slugfest. Ken Griffey Jr. 1997 slugfest
Oh,
when you used to be able to punch the fielders
hmm
as you're running the bases. It's gonna be one of those. I mean, but then also
yes.
Lexus King.
This is where things get absolutely hilarious. All right, Lexus King. I have a theory. Yes, this is a joint venture. This is a thing. They're working together. TNA and NXT are working together. But I have this feeling in the bottom of my gut that Lexus King is going to beat the system. When I say beat the system, I'm not talking about the leadership of WWE, TNA, or anything like that. He is literally going to beat the faction that runs TNA right now. The faction that has been a thorn in their side for the better half of 2 years now. They are going to. He's already beat Fandango last week. Next week he will be facing Moose in a Heritage Cup match, and Lexus King is going to win. Although it may be with some shenanigans, he's gonna win. And then I also see in the next coming weeks Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards coming over and doing the exact same thing. I see the pattern. I see what's happening, and I'm putting it out there. The Lexus King prophecy. Lexus King will beat the system.
It's also kind of a double whammy because wouldn't it be little serendipitous if an NXT Lexus King shocks the system?
Shocks the system. He's going to shock the
It's just,
system.
I was like, that's all I can
And
think the whole time. Like,
and
come
when he
on,
win
man.
and when he wins, the undisputed era theme has to play like it has to
Yes.
happen.
Oh man, he's so dang funny. I actually don't mind the idea of it. Yeah,
It
I've
wouldn't
been
be as it wouldn't be as bad if Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards come over first because I feel like Moose is their main event guy, and I just don't think that Moose should be taking that kind of loss.
no, not to Alexis King. I hate to say it, I'm just not ready for it, Driz. Like I'm not ready to see Moose take the loss to Alexis King. And it's a shame because I think Alexis King trying to get away from the Pillman Jr. thing has been good,
Mm,
but he's still stuck in this. He's like half Pillman.
yeah,
Like there's like a little bit of it in his character, but it's not all the way. And I'm confused at this stage with Lexus King. Like,
he's
where
confused
are we
too.
going?
He's very
Yeah, right.
confused. He
I'm
doesn't know what
baffled.
to do, and that's like after 2 weeks of he's got this down. He figured it out somewhat. He keeps on kind of reverting back to the Lexus King stuff. So it's like,
Yeah,
so it's you got to make it's not you can't do one step forward then two steps back. You're gonna have to keep moving forward with this
a hundred
character
percent.
evolution.
100%. But let's talk about another one here. Let's talk about a triple threat match that I thoroughly enjoyed. We had a bit of an upset.
A
Jada
steal,
Parker,
a steal.
Carmen Petrovic, Kalani Jordan. Whoa. I would have thought Jada. I would have thought Kalani. Carmen Petrovic wins the match. Number one contender, and then gets absolutely beat down after
Wow,
the match, essentially. But it does lead to something later in the show. But at the same time, it does not change the fact that she's our new North American women's
the number one.
number
She's
one
number
contender.
one.
Talk to me about this one, Dre's.
I love a clash of styles. You have the striking of Carmen, you have the high flying of Kalani, you have the power of Jada. And Jada, for the most part, took a lot of damage in this match. The girls realize what it is about each other. And I feel like they've been kind of parallel with each other for a while now because they all came out of the same breakout tournament. They all came and it's just kind of grown together. So this is a clash of styles, but it's like we've watched each other. Let's see if you see what you can do now that you've got like a year under your belt. And I absolutely think that all three of them did a very good job showing how much they've grown over the last year. Carmen has come I don't think anybody really expected Carmen to be as good as she has been so fast. It's just so unexpected, but such a pleasant surprise. Her her character work has been great. Adding Ashanti Adonis to her story and them becoming a couple, him being her corner man, which is sorely needed, and I love it. It's a great story told there. The Kalani trying to find this mean streak has been amazing, and I and it ultimately is what bit her in the butt because she was too aggressive with somebody who's already aggressive in Jada Parker, who had a WWE 2K25 moment by after hitting her signature move, hit the taunt button and continued the taunt while in the background Carmen steals the match. It literally is something out of a game. And if you have not seen it, you have to go watch. It's hilarious,
It
but it is also one of the reasons why Carmen got her ass beat after the
is
match.
so true. but I mean, we talked about it, and Kalani, like, yeah, it was hysterical. It was a great exchange. The finish, it was straight out of the video game. If you haven't seen it, it was taunt button being spammed. Carmen then obviously gets beat up after the match, but what's interesting is that does lead to what amounted to be our main event, essentially, correct?
Yes.
So, like, it, we do end up down the line with Stephanie Vauquer, Julia, and Jordan Grace teaming up against Fatal Influence, who are the ones that attack Carmen Petrovic. What I don't understand is necessarily why Carmen was their target there, other than Fallon being the most recent to lose the belt.
Maybe that was their way of being like, if I can't win the belt, nobody can. So you're gonna beat up all the other contenders for this belt. But I wasn't gonna do that if I was Jada. Y'all wouldn't. I definitely sure y'all wouldn't get away with that. That's something I gotta agree. Okay, we watched from the end of the match when Jada finally left. Jada and Kalani took each other out of the cage, and Fatal Influence come down and attack Carmen. Right? Carmen was beat through a commercial and a half.
Yes.
They did. Nobody came. Nobody in the back like Carmen now. Y'all like they let Carmen get beat up. Ashanti got smacked with a chair. Like nobody. Y'all don't like them back there now. But everybody hates Fatal Influence. But we're gonna let them beat up on Carmen and
Yeah, it
Ashanti.
was like they can cause the destruction, but we're not going to let them stand tall over it.
Like
Yeah,
it's
no, that's a really good call, Drizzy. Like, I'm on the same page there. It's like, wait a minute. So they can cause all this stuff, but as soon as they get in the ring, here we come. Right? Here come the help, right?
mhm,
Like, and it's all the champions essentially, and Jordan Grace, right? But like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't necessarily love it either.
Like they could have got out there a little bit faster now. They didn't have to wait. Like it was a good. The commercial break was over. The picture in picture and everything was over by the time they actually came out there to save her.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, well, let's keep it rolling. Let's talk about more women's action on tonight's show because this was a fun match as well. Tag action. We've got Sol Ruka and Zarya. Fun team, a little bit of a misfit team. I've enjoyed the vignettes though. It's solid. And that entrance, man, that was electric. The
Mhm.
entrance was rock solid, I thought, Dre's,
It was perfect.
against, of course, the meta girls, as we like to call them, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Really fun match here. What were your thoughts on it, Drizzy?
I absolutely love the match. I am a meta. I'm a meta girl lover. I love Lash. I love Jakar. They can do no wrong in my eyes, and they have been on fire as a team for a while now. It's just there's nothing really for them to do. I can tell they're stuck in limbo until Aura and Noam come back, and then they can finally go to the main roster where there's a little bit more to do. But this wasn't. As I said, this wasn't bad. They're being used in a story to help Zarya and Soul find their rhythm as a team, basically. And I absolutely love the odd couple of that. The venue that you talked about earlier, absolutely hilarious. They humanize Zarya so much, even though I think it's a little premature to be doing. I really don't think we should be humanizing her just yet. But to what they're the pros. They got more of a track record with making stars than we do. Absolutely love that story. I just want to see it when it gives me Kane and Daniel Bryant vibes.
It does. It does. And I agree with you. I don't know if it's exactly time to take away like the lore, the luster when it
So
comes to, or I guess the mystery, for lack of a better way to put it. Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah. It's like it's
Um,
not time to make the monster a human just yet.
right. But I do think that they've towed the line enough. She's still scary, for lack of a better way to put it. And then we've got a comment here that I really do like, which is I miss Noam Dar. I think we all do.
We all do.
I think we all do.
You know
Noam
who
Dar
misses?
is
You
so
know who
good.
misses Noam Dar the most? The Heritage Cup.
Yes. I mean, sincerely, like Noam Dar carried that thing for so dang long. This is an interesting comment here. The Soul Zarya vignettes reminded me of the old Riddle slash Dunn vignettes in chemistry from Podcast Grifter
The
podcast, which I mean, yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's
kind of cut
fair.
from it's cut from that cloth. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I even a little just like the bonding stuff, like even some of like the Riddle Orton stuff in some ways.
It's
Right.
all cut. It's all. So that's the beautiful thing about Shawn Michaels when he books. He does take a lot of nods from the Attitude Era. This is actually, and it hit me after they said that it's actually the Kane X Pac storyline because you had your monster and you had your fun person. That's
Now you're talking.
that's exactly what it is.
And athlete too at the
Yep.
same time. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. I totally get that. I mean, yeah, like this has been a fun one for sure. All right, do we do it now though, Driz? Do we talk about Rick?
Oh, and let me get myself mentally prepared because this is gonna be hard. This is really
I
gonna be
almost
hard.
just accidentally read the teleprompter because it says Ricky Saint, but it's Ricky Saints
Yes, like
contract signing.
yes, not Ricky Saint, not Saint.
Saints.
Put an S at the end of it. Saint.
This like New Orleans.
Like
Um,
who that? Like
who dat? Say they gonna beat Ricky Saints.
see, it's too clunk. Ricky Saints is too clunky. I want to
It
say Ricky Saint so bad, but
it's funky, man. It's funky and clunky, but it's Ricky Saints. That's what we've got. Yeah, the as far as the signing was done, I enjoyed it. No
mm,
entrance music. I get why, but I don't know. A little weird.
it
And
kind of
then
it kind of feels like they're trying to keep everything about him a mystery until at the very last minute to keep you engaged into him. But I really don't feel like he needs that. He's a big star in our eyes, so you could give him. Well, hold on. Never mind. You know what? Let me take all that back. I forgot what company we're talking about for a sec. Because if we were to sit there and have Ricky Saints come out, oh, I got it right. If we were to have Ricky Saints come out there with some Def Rebel music, do you
that's
know how pissed off the people would be? They would call for Def Rebel's head if he got some crap music and he on his debut on NXT. So yeah,
yeah.
no, they did the right thing with it. Like we're not gonna let Def Rebel fuck this up for anybody. We're not doing this. No, Def Rebel, you are not gonna do this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna give him our transition music. It's okay. He's coming out. Everything's gonna be new. So when he finally does debut, it's gonna be a major production. You're gonna get the big his lights. You know, he gets to do his pose. I don't know if he's gonna keep the full interest of what he did in AEW, but if he does, even if he owns his music, that would be 10 times better. Like just let's
Oh,
make it all a big production. It's all must see. We want to see what's gonna happen, so don't give anything for free right now.
I hate to say it, but I'm afraid this comment may come true. Deontay Belladonna with all the crap music is coming, man.
Man,
Oh, I'm so afraid.
Tony, how much does his theme cost? How much does his
I'm
theme
begging
cost?
you, it was so good.
Like how much his theme cost, man? Just go ahead. Hey, Cody, can you like go buy that, please?
And it's like we just had Mailbag Monday was yesterday, and I just talked about for a long time, like CFO and Jim Johnston and all kinds of different stuff, theme music wise.
Well,
We gotta get back to a spot where every superstar's music in WWE, you recognize who it is. I think that's needs to be the priority over like listening.
mm,
I feel like for a while now they've been trying to give us songs that maybe you'd want to listen to outside. Not myself, but like a portion of the audience would like to listen to outside of the product a bunch. I just want to know who it is.
the
And I
crazy
want the
thing
song to
is,
identify who it is.
yeah, none of it all is. And the crazy thing about it is a lot of the Def Rebel songs are not bad. It's there's too
Right.
much transition in it. It's like you have the same song for all of like 3 or 4 months and then you're ready to change it again. Like, no, stop.
Yeah, just keep the same song. There was nothing wrong with Shinsuke Nakamura's song. You can
Yes.
change character and keep the song.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But he
100%.
could have kept that. We're still begging for y'all to bring back Lobster Head. I'm begging.
Yeah.
Y'all
Well, I
brought it
mean,
back for
hell,
a little bit.
I what happened to Finn Balor?
Yeah,
Like Finn
Finn.
Balor at the Rumble, nobody knew who it was until he came down the
Yes.
ramp.
And why did y'all? There's no need to change that music. And that was a Def Rebel song.
And it was yes. Yeah, it's bizarro world there. Like what are you doing? I mean, yeah, Logan Paul too was another funky one. Like I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
Like what's going on here? And it's just it's weird. And even yeah, they even redid Roman's theme here. Um,
Hmm.
and then yeah, it is cool. No. I agree, but like the original with the violins and stuff, I always think is really good.
It's
And
always
then
gonna
yeah,
be
the
the
Jada
iconic thing.
Parker, the new Jada Parker one isn't very good.
Yeah, I'd rather have the old OTM song. And I know they probably did. This is probably her first thing too.
Yeah,
They're probably just trying to give her something that separates from OTM as a whole. And so when they're together, she'll probably get the old OTM thing. But this is just her solo joint song. So, but
yeah. And it's funny because I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been times where like they absolutely pull the right strings and change theme music, and it's great. And like there's like think about. I mean, CM Punk people love both,
mhm.
right? Like both
Like
of the ones, all three of the ones he's known for. If you think about it,
yeah,
Brian Danielson's been able to sort of change it up and make it work.
mhm,
I guess technically you have the original HBK with Sherry singing it, and
yeah,
then you have the second one, and then you also have the DX theme that
mhm.
he came out to as well. But like it is interesting like how identifiable music is to Superstar's entrance. I don't know, Driz. You know what I'm saying there?
It's all a major part of the presentation. If the music don't hit, it takes you out completely. We are huge fans of Finn Balor, but with the new music change, it is hard to get behind him when that's what's motivating you. I've even heard on it was an interview earlier today, Naomi talk about how much she misses her old music. Like she said she likes hers, and the way she described it was it's a vibe, but it's not the vibe. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You need the vibe. You need something that's gonna set the mood for what's about to happen, what you're about to do. So,
Okay, this is interesting in the comments here, Driz.
mm,
So we have if Ricky Starks wasn't able to bring his theme, how was Cody Rhodes able to bring Kingdom to WWE? I think
because
that's different because didn't Downstate make that specifically for Cody, so he owned the rights to it?
yes, Cody owns the rights to that. It would kind of be like the same thing. I think the Miz owns the rights to his song. So if he was to sit there and go somewhere else, he could
Right.
do that since it's done by an actual band. So that's kind of the thing there, because they made that is specifically for Cody. Nobody else is going around saying their family is a generous this and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like written for cause well, it's interesting too, because I listened to a recent interview with Indy Hartwell where she mentioned that the same band, I believe it's Downstate, correct me
Hmm.
if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
is making her new music, which would be really interesting.
Hmm. Like there are bands that will make music for you. Like the Judgment Day. Well, the Judgment theme
Yeah,
song is not specifically for Judgment Day,
that was
but
Alter Bridge.
yeah. But
That's the same
Edge,
band that made Edge's song, correct?
yes, it's all Edge's stuff. But
Yeah.
Edge owns the rights to that song, so he can go do
Really?
that. Yeah, that's how he's able to do that in AEW. That's in fact when you bring up Cody used that from the moment he left WWE.
That's
They made
right.
that strictly for him, and he had been using that in TNA, ROH, New Japan, AEW. He used that everywhere.
That's exactly right. That's exactly well, I mean, and that's where it's so interesting with the music stuff because, like, you think about things like Bryan Danielson in the Final Countdown.
Hmm.
Oh, like they just used it
Yeah,
early in his career, and then
Back when you
time
could get
ago.
away with it, you could get away with it.
Yeah,
Now
they just used it like
these big giant $1 million companies,
Winley.
he instantly went to stock music. He didn't even go get.
Exactly.
He didn't even have an actual song created for him. He just went and got some unlicensed music.
Yeah, he went and got royalty free stuff. He went to royalty free music.
Actually, Brian Davidson was actually pretty smart about that.
No, that was actually genius. Now that you
It
think about
fits.
it,
It fits.
it,
So
it it's genius. Um, okay. So I think we've vetted Ricky Starks, other than or Ricky Saints. Other than, by the way, I mean he is. It's official, right? It's him and Wesley
it's
out of the gates next Tuesday.
no, it's tag match. They changed at the end of it. Javon and Ricky Saints versus Wesley and Ethan Page.
Got it. That's okay. I apologize.
He's
Yes.
gonna get a little bit ego. He's gonna get a
So
little
we
bit
have
ego.
the tag match next Tuesday already booked. I mean, that's going to be a fun one, but
Hmm.
you got to imagine this is Saints and Javon go over.
Absolutely. Especially after Javon took that loss at Vengeance Day. He's definitely going after revenge. So he's
Yeah.
definitely not gonna let Ricky lose in his first match.
Yeah, I can't fathom that. The question is Ricky going to use the spear or the Rochambeau
That
in NXT?
there's a lot of questions. I would love to see the Rochambeau, but I don't know if he can do that to everybody in there. Like
Yeah,
trying to do Rochambeau to Obafemi,
not going to happen.
that's a tough one. Let's say I don't know. He might bust out something new. You know how sometimes new company, new start. You just want to try and add something new to your repertoire. He
Yeah,
might even use something else.
that'd be
He's
kind of cool.
capable.
I mean, I'll like obviously Monet with her new finisher and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of a cool thing. I think when you go somewhere new to break out a new finishing move.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good call. But let's talk about Stacks Lorenzo, who we joked about while watching it live.
Channing
What is it?
Stacks Lorenzo,
Channing Stacks Lorenzo,
the
the
only name that the Morella family can say correctly.
and then Sean Spears, the artist formerly known as Ty Dillinger. Talk
Sean
to me about this
Spears.
one, Driz.
I like to call Sean Spears and his new faction the conspiracy because we have no idea what they believe.
Conspiracies.
We have no idea what they believe. Sean Spears, an underrated worker. This match showed that we don't get a lot of matches where Sean Spears gets to really work. And we forget so much that because all the other wrestlers are so young and fresh and new and everything, Sean Spears slips by the wayside because we just do not think about how long he's been around, how good he really is, and he's now trying to take his with I don't know what guy name is with the mohawk, Brooks Jensen and Lexi. Is her name Lexi? Izzy Dane. My bad. Lexi. She looks like a Lexi in my eyes, but Izzy Dane. This faction, I have no idea. This is almost going out there with the new faction that we don't know what their mission statement is. They don't talk too much, so we don't really know where to go with them. All we know is that Sean Spears is leading them somewhere. We're not where to. We don't know. We know they've taken out the Don. They've officially taken out Channing now, Stacks now. Uh, it looks like the family's in danger. The family is in danger.
I just okay. Sean Spears is talented. I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. But at the same time, I hate to see the family in such turmoil. it's,
They are in they are endangered right now.
it's it's brutal. It's brutal. It's like it's sad to me, but it's not looking good. I mean, we got a lot of comments here supporting Spears. Spears has great wrestling IQ. Stan
Absolutely.
is the best.
Yes.
We do have Nico
Nico
Vance
Van, there
versus
you go. There's his name. I knew somebody knew his name.
yes, and then so far Shawn Michaels Minor L's is giving factions a great name. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that one. I will say this. A lot of the factions like bleed together names wise.
Yeah.
It struggles for me. Like we even talked about it, while we were watching this episode. Like Fatal Influence is awesome, but I almost always accidentally say like toxic influence, toxic something like,
Yeah.
and that's not what it is. And it's that is, if there is any problem, it would be one, but it's not a major problem. I don't think, at least at this stage. I don't know, but let's talk about let's go to school really quick, Driz.
Mm.
Let's talk about Andre Chase and the
Edward
potential,
Leviticus Thorpe.
yeah, the potential resurgence of the university,
Do
the
you
school maybe getting off of sanctions. Who knows? But
like
what they
the
need
trend?
is the chancellor.
Oh man. So, okay, I had a question. All right, so when Ridge destroyed Chase U, it couldn't be with uh Thea and Riley and Duke.
Right.
We already know Duke's not with the company anymore, so we go ahead and send him on his way. So Kel Dixon and is it Uriah James?
Yeah, I think so.
So they can just be the new Chase U? Like I don't know how we need the actual rules for this because it feels like they did this and they broke them up, but they didn't really
Oh,
specify 100% what it means to not be Chase U anymore. Because they're making it seem like the three of them can never be Chase U ever again. But there's nothing stopping Andre Chase, Uriah, and Kale from being Chase U now.
and this is what I think is people graduate. Sometimes people get kicked out of universities and they have to transfer. Sometimes, you know, there's academic penalties for
Mm-hmm.
failing classes and whatnot. I see no reason that the university can't stand on 2 feet again on the back of one Andre Chase jersey. I think, I think it's time we free Chase U and we bring back the school because people have to learn somewhere, whether it's
Yep.
that new show over on A&E or it's
Mm-hmm.
in Chase U.
Mm-hmm.
Students are out there and they're thirsty for knowledge, and I am really sick of him wrestling in button downs. I
Yeah, he's
think
just
the
in
sweater
button
was
down.
better.
He looks so sad.
It's
He still got.
time.
He still has impeccable kick game though. His shoes.
Oh my goodness, we just had the
I love.
greatest
I
idea ever.
love that. I love that. Triple C
Triple C
Chase Community.
Chase Community College,
Let's
bring
go.
it
Yeah,
back.
do that. Do that.
Yes,
Do that. Get it on a
yes,
certain. Yeah, get it on a certain. Yeah.
everything about it.
Throw up the C. Like do it. Yeah,
Triple C's, the Chase Community College. Yes.
do it.
Honestly, and they need a mascot too. I think they need a mascot this time.
No, but I felt bad. Well, at least if they bring back Chase U, can Thea and Riley graduate?
Oh yeah, I think for sure. Or
Like let's
honorary degrees.
yeah, like just give them a graduation and then let them do their own thing.
Kind of like isn't the big rumor that the South Park guys got offered honorary degrees from University of Colorado
I've
after
heard
they
that.
dropped out, and then they said they'd only accept them if they were in astrophysics. So the university said no.
That is genius.
I
That is,
think it's like actually think that's a true story. I'm sorry, like
I take.
that just reminded me of
I
that.
just put astrophysics on there. Like,
Yeah,
come on,
just
no, it's not gonna hurt y'all. I'm
they're
not
like
gonna go into astrophysics.
no, yeah, like I have no desire to use it. I just want you to write it on the paper.
That will tell my
Like,
kids like, yeah, I got a degree in astrophysics. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that the university came back with like, no, we're not going to do that, and they're like, well, then we decline, and they didn't even accept them.
they
I
thought they were
mean, it
gonna
was.
call their bluff. Thought they were gonna call their bluff. They're like, well, I guess we could do it just this one time. And like,
Could
nah,
you imagine? They're like, yes, astrophysics. Like, I don't even know if that's a degree.
like, woo,
Oh, it's all time.
that's
Uh,
Lord. Lord. But yeah, Andre, we can do that, right? We can let them graduate. Let Kale and Uriah be the new Chase U. Eddie Thorpe out here being a main eventer apparently now.
That's what I was about to just say. Is so he brought the strap out. Is that going to be his new thing?
I think so. He's gonna be just start whipping people.
Strapping young man.
I had an issue. I had an issue with it because whipping a black man in February just
Yes,
does not sit well in my soul.
it's
And
not right.
yeah, for me, and yeah, no, I can't do it. But I understand it's it's a part of it's a part of the thing right now. They're trying to make him a main eventer because Obafemi is going to eat through a roster, and you need names who can survive it. So they're trying to make Eddie Thorpe survive this. But at the end of that match, we got a message from a Dark Trick Williams, and he
Yes.
says if he's gonna go he's going down, Eddie's coming under with him. Now, whenever anybody says the word under, that means they're instantly going to NXT Underground. It's not a matter of if it happens, it's a matter of when it happens. And when is this match happening? I don't know.
That we talked about even before the show too, dude. It's like I want it sooner rather than later.
Mm. I know they have a show in Cincinnati coming up, and then I think Roadblock maybe in like another 2 or 3 weeks, maybe.
I mean, what kind of match is it though? Is it underground? What is it?
I truly believe it's a NXT Underground match.
I would actually love if they brought back the fight pit.
I
The
mean,
fight pit would be cool with those
we
two.
have not seen a fight pit match in some years now.
And I like the fight pit compared personally to underground significantly more. As a guy that's like, I love MMA, like I love all that kind of stuff. I think
Mm.
the fight pit's a better reflection as far as the NXT product's concerned. And anytime they do the underground, it just feels like a knockoff of Bloodsport because it's never going to be that violent.
Yeah, and if I don't have a problem doing it, but I feel like people like Lola Vice, Natty, Jada Parker, they've all done so much in NXT Underground matches that it kind of puts the bar really high. So they really have to do some crazy shit in order to just up that to make it truly great. Like I don't see anybody for a while beating what Lola and Jada did.
Right. That's the other problem is I don't want to have to compare it to that match, Driz.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Like that's and this is funny to me, by the way. Deontay, all love, my friend, but like the fight pit is more of a Matt Riddle thing. Like
Ha! Matt
it
Riddle
was
doesn't go here anymore.
it was Matt Riddle's blood sport too, though. Underground was the other one that we were like, they both are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Um,
NXT, where Matt Riddle stuff goes to be make them money and him nothing.
I mean, it I wouldn't even call the fight pit such a Matt Riddle thing. He was in a lot of those matches. Don't get me wrong, they were great. But like somebody can make that their own. The concept was awesome. I love the idea of the cage being inside the ropes. I love the idea of you can still have um high flying maneuvers because you have the platform up top.
Mm-hmm.
It's unique. It's a different structure. It's a cool concept. I think they stick with that. And yeah, it is true. Like the last fight pit was Rollins Riddle in Extreme Rules 2021.
Yeah.
So that would be. I mean, that's quite some time ago. I think it'd be cool if they brought it back for this. I think that would be fun, right? Like
Mm.
you can't run, you can't hide. I don't know. Either way, let's keep it rolling here. Let's get to the main
Yeah.
event here, Driz.
Whew. Yes.
We made it.
All the way.
Stephanie Vauquer, Julia, Jordan Grace versus Fatal Influence. Jordan Grace and the two champions stand tall. Talk to me about it.
Of course, this is your classic first night after a pay per view match when you have a new regime in. You got your new North American Women's Champion, your new NXT Women's World Champion. and your new number one signing for the women's division, Jordan Grace, against your top faction in the women's division, Fatal Influence. This match actually was really, we say this is your PSA for the week, the best division in wrestling. You have so much good wrestling out of all six of these women, and that is a lot. I can only imagine how much someone like Jasmine Nix is learning from not only JC and Fallon, but Jordan on the other side, Julie on the other side, Stephanie Vaquer on the other side. All of them and this woman, like all of them all together. And I'm Jasmine Nix in here, and I'm mixing up with all of them. You're taking little pieces of that. This just makes her better. The one-upsmanship between Julia, Stephanie, and Jordan, it also makes everybody better because everybody wants to be the best. It's it looks so competitive between all those women. Fallon, who has come light years from what she once was as just a manager, a barback manager, to now she's the former North American champion and a damn good one. She was not bad. I really feel like her her title reign ended too early, but in a division this stacked, it is hard to have a long reign. I don't see Julia still having a long reign. Even I don't see any of these Stephanie or Julia having these super long reigns because this division on any given Tuesday, somebody's taking your belt.
I agree, and it's odd because Julia looked dominant throughout this match
Mhm.
at times. Stephanie looked great as well. Took a lot of the bumps of the three.
Yes,
And then Jordan Grace gets the victory. I thought it was an awesome match. Fallon Henley's off the charts.
yes.
She's so underrated. You can't make it up. But
It's like,
before we head home,
mm,
I do want to talk about that attack at the end.
oh, you thought about how they killed the stone? They killed the stone.
How they
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 murdered.
yeah, they threw stones in a glass house and they broke all of the glass.
Yes.
Like the room was destroyed, first and foremost.
Mm.
Secondly, somebody is gonna have to repaint the walls because it said nobody's safe.
You know
And
what's crazy?
thirdly, Stone was laid out, man.
Under the desk. Under the desk.
Under the desk, not over the desk.
So, we say so much how dangerous in NXT parking lot's ghetto. It looks like the ghetto is starting to move into the building now because they're just attacking people at will now. It's like a new gang moved in. We don't know what these boys are called, but they just walking around here beating up people. They have now beat up Stone and put him on the ground under the desk, smashed the room, spray painted. No one is safe. This what this means now is that NXT has no protection. There's nothing that anybody can do to stop this. They've laid out the tag team champions. They've laid out the most dominant force in NXT in Obafemi. They've now also broken into Ava's office and beat up her assistant. So who's to stop them from beating up anybody in NXT? NXT is ghetto, folks. It is dangerous out there. The buddy system needs to happen at all times because they do not care.
It's so true, but this is the one thing that's so funny to me, Driz. We talked about this. Like, so Ricky Starks was walking around like, is everybody so angry all the time? And he,
Apparently, yes. Apparently, yes.
and then finally we get the attack and it's Stone. Like, what? Uh, these guys debut, it was electric. I wanted to see something, and we saw something, but we didn't see anybody. Can we
I think
get
it's odd to have a faction beat your top champion, your top men's champion, and your tag team champions, and then not show up on the show the very next week, except for like the last 10 seconds of the show.
yeah to beat up a manager?
Yeah, like It's an odd one, and I actually think it's kind of bold. I feel like when you strike something like that, you need to continue striking. It should have came out like in the middle of the Ricky Saints
Saints.
contract signing. He should have came out during the Andre Chase Eddie Thorpe match, maybe this one of the other matches or something, and they make their presence felt. Then they can disappear for the day. But we haven't gotten a mission statement. We haven't gotten what we do. We barely have names.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a this is a it's bold to leave them off like this and have us in such mystery. But I guess
I,
it goes both ways. You can be the mystery can either pull you in more or make you be like I ain't giving it. I ain't
I
getting it.
totally agree. And we got Bobby in the comments. I completely forgot, by the way. We have the Hardys.
Yes.
Who-
Just when you
who-
thought the Hardys could never leave, just when you thought that they got rid of the Hardys out of WWE, they've come right back.
it's wild. The Hardys, I mean, they called themselves the greatest tag team of all time. It's fair. It's fair. I don't think they're the greatest, but longevity wise, they're still
They
active.
they do have that. If Edge and Christian would just get their stuff together,
Yep. I
save
mean,
us
the
Edge and Christian.
Dudleys, there's so many. The Road Warriors. We could talk tag teams for the rest of our lives. Might be
Yes,
something we need to bring to the newest show on Wrestling Republic, Driz.
yes, we need that for grappling for position.
Grappling for position, my friend. But that will bring us to the end of tonight's show. Absolutely. On behalf of me and Drizzy, Shoddy, everybody at WR, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back same time next week, every Tuesday, immediately following NXT. Check out the daily, check out Grappling for Position, check out all of the stuff on the Wrestling Republic platform. And everybody have an excellent Tuesday night. We will talk to you soon.